start our Power Vinyasa class. I want you to start on your mat. I want you to start in Child's Pose. And in Child's Pose, you can have your hands forward. And you can even take your hands back, maybe the forehead rests, any place that feels comfortable to you. And in your Child's Pose, I want you to just kind of check in how you feel. Start cultivating a little bit of a breath and just being aware of your breath, not really going into a deep ujjayi breath. And just check into the spaces in your body, kind of the mental areas that might need to be put aside for a little bit. Anything that might get a little stuck in your body, we can put that aside as well. And just find this soothing breath in your body. And softening the face, allowing the jaw to relax, the tongue, the heels, letting the upper body get heavy into the lower body. Feeling each finger, and maybe the arms come forward a little bit more, the fingers might reach back a little more. And just see if you can create not so much spaciousness on the outside of the body, but spaciousness on the inside of the body. Maybe start off saying a few words of gratitude and thanks. Maybe set a prayer or a dedication for your practice. Or set an intent for your practice, what brought you here today. And it might be as simple as you have nothing else to do, as you're stuck at home. And that's okay. Just being aware that doing something is important. Nothing is insignificant. Nothing that we feel, nothing that we do. All of it matters. And so starting to, if your hands are back, take your fingers forward, stretch your arms out, and just rise up into your tabletop. We're going to bring the hands so the wrists and shoulders align. Let's stretch out the wrists a little bit. We're going to be on our wrists quite a bit today. So just start lifting the hands up and moving the hands a little back and forth. And you can spin them around. Then you can reach those fingers out to the side. You can reach one hand forward, one hand back. When you're doing this, keep your thumb and fingers separated. Maybe even bend the elbows a little bit. And you can do both sides. Again, bending the elbows a little bit, pushing into the fingertips. And then bring your arms out a little bit wider. So when you bring your arms out, you're going to kind of move your shoulders a little side to side and keep your spine in neutral. And see if you can bring your shoulders over towards the fingertips. Now start to bring them in a little closer. And press up through the arms, and you're going to notice the wrists engage a little bit more here. See if you can find little circles around the wrists. Make sure to press back into the pinky and keep the pinky knuckle down as you do this. You're moving the other direction, keeping the thumb knuckle down and the index finger knuckle. And everything else, other than the fingertips, can be a little light. Now I'm going to reach the fingers forward. I'm going to move off my mat just so you can see. And I'm going to bring my shoulders a little forward and back as I do this. I'm going to try to extend my shoulders a little over the fingertips and then push through the hands as much as you can, wrapping the triceps back. And then draw yourself back towards your heels. And just do that a few times, kind of pressing up. See if you can get your back really round as you do this. I'll show you from this side. And so kind of reaching up and push a little bit more than you actually think you can. Wrap your triceps back, push up as much as you can, and maybe start to see the head slightly through. And then dropping the chest and moving a little forward and back. We're going to turn those palms up and just roll into the wrists, stretching into the fingers a little bit. Now when you're ready, take your fingers forward, bring yourself back into a child's pose, keep your toes curled. And as you're here, kind of rippling the spine up, getting really high, shifting some weight forward. See if you can come into a plank pose and kind of pull the eyes of the elbows in towards each other, and then puff up your shoulders a little bit. And we're going to bend the knees, reach back, and kind of push the knees down. And then round yourself forward again, just staying in your tabletop for a moment. Lift up as high as you can, and then start to straighten out the legs. Press into your plank pose. Gazing forward. Keep the shoulders really rounded as you do this. And then start to draw yourself back. Bring your knees gently down. Take your bottom back. Child's pose. One more. Inhale. Rounding up. Pressing for the tops of the hands. And see if you can extend up gently, lifting the knees. Gazing over the fingertips. Staying here for 3, maybe extending forward a little bit more. You might even pop up onto the tips of the toes if you can do this. 2 and 1. Gliding back, bringing the knees gently down, and then pushing back, child's pose. You can stay in your child's pose for a moment, maybe tent the fingers, kind of pulling your fingers and thumbs towards each other, and just kind of stretching out. Now I'm going to take myself back into my tabletop. I want you to think about pushing your belly button up as much as you can. So lifting the belly up, and then lift the chest up. And try to push through the arms as much as you can, as though you're trying to push the back of your heart up towards the sky. Pull your chin in towards your chest, pull your head through your arms, and keep the tops of the toes down, especially the big toes. Squeeze into the arms, stay here for 3. A little bit higher than you think you can. 2 and 1. And on this one, I want you to pull your shoulders back and try to push this time the belly button. Now push your bottom out, gaze up, and reach your sternum forward. So right below the heart. Keep reaching, keep lifting, keep the neck a little bit more neutral. So I'm really pushing the shoulders back. I'm going to curl the toes on this one, and I want you to glide back. And just push into your shoulders. Round up. We're going to walk the hands forward a little bit more. So rounding up, coming into that version of tabletop. We're going to come back into that plank pose, lifting up, come into your plank, and lift up as high as you can. This time, bend your knees, push your bottom back, and slide into your downward facing dog. And just pedal out your feet for a moment. Getting in any cracks and creaks. Maybe start moving into the ribs a little bit. You might move the hips out. And just stay here for a few breaths. If you can, you want to find a downward dog that when you come into your plank pose, you're not having to take the legs back. So you want to have a little bit wider downward dog. So your feet are a little further away from your hands, but your hands always stay about shoulder distance apart. So as I glide into my plank, I'm going to puff up my shoulders a little bit more than I can, pull my belly in, and reach my shoulders a little bit over the fingertips. Staying here for 3, and 2, and 1. Bend your knees, tilt your tailbone back, and see if you can glide back into your downward facing. Take the ears so the ears stay between the arms on this one. See if you can rise up in your toes, bring your chin towards your chest, and ripple your spine forward like a wave in the ocean. And again, puffing up through the tops of the shoulders, maybe this time drawing into the tops of the toes, staying here for 5, and 4, 3, and 2. Pull the belly in. 1, bring the toes down, bend the knees, tilt the tailbone back, and kind of glide back into your downward facing. We're going to do one more like that, kind of engaging the core. So on this next one, make sure rising up on the toes, slowly release. Nice deep inhale, pull. Hold here, maybe pushing all the way forward, staying here for 5, and 4. Keep lifting. 3, as high as you can. 2, and 1. Bring the toes down, bend the knees, glide back. Stay in your downward dog for a moment. Paddle out your feet. Maybe you're lifting the heels. Maybe you're pushing the heels down. Try to see if you can lift the toes. Maybe do one at a time. And then that toe comes down, and try to push into the heels and see if you can lift the toes, giving yourself a little bit of a shin stretch. Reach the arms and push the ground away. Maybe both toes are coming up. Micro bend those knees, really working into the legs and the thighs. And then release the toes, and we're going to walk the hands in towards the feet. So walk your hands in towards your feet. Let your arms rest for a moment. Let the arms get really heavy. If you need to bend your knees, sway side to side. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. So start cultivating that Ujjayi breath. When you're ready, hands either to the ground or to the shins, gazing forward, halfway lift. Pull your navel in a little bit, and then exhale, slowly lower. Let's walk it back out into your plank pose. We're going to come forward all the way into your actual plank. So shift yourself forward into your plank. I want to make sure I stay in the frame. Shift forward into your plank. Let's lower down, chaturanga. Wrap the elbows back, slowly lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the belly down, take the legs out. On your inhale, peel your chest up. Pull your elbows down, shoulders are back, ears away from the shoulders. Exhale, lower. Let's do 2 more like that. So inhale, pressing into the pinky toes, trying to keep the big toes ground. Exhale, lower. The pinkies are going to be a little bit more important. On your inhale, lift up, pull your elbows down, and see if you pull your heart forward. And exhale, lower. Curl your toes, glide back into your child's pose. Stretch your arms forward. Try to keep your arms like you're trying to walk your arms as far forward as you can, and pull your bottom back in opposition. Really giving your arms a good stretch. Push your shoulder blades out towards the sides. We're going to inhale, rise back up into your tabletop, and then glide back into your downward facing dog. And this time we're going to bring those toes together. We're going to bring that right leg up. Open your hip to the right, bend your knee, flex your foot. Push a little bit more weight into your right hand so you're keeping the shoulders square. Maybe roll out the ankle, other direction. We're going to bring that right knee towards your nose, round your spine. Lift up, exhale. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, round. Pull your back body back. And shift that leg back. 1 more. Exhale, press it forward. Inhale, pressing back. We're going to bring that right knee over towards the left tricep. So bring it over. Try to see if you can touch the actual tricep, and then coming back into your 3-legged dog. So exhale, deepen your twist, get it up towards the tricep, not the elbow. Reach it back 1 more time. This time we're going to let that leg fall. So extend it out. See if you can extend the leg out, take the foot down, take your right hand down, roll to the outer arch of that left foot, and lift the left arm. Reach the left arm over towards the front, and lift up as high as you can, pushing into the ribs on the left side, and compressing the ribs on the right. We're going to bring that left arm down. Bring yourself back in 3-legged dog. We're going to bring your right knee towards your right tricep, and then bring it over towards your left tricep. Bring it back over to your right tricep, and back over to your left tricep. 1 more time. Back over to your right tricep, and back over to your left tricep. And then take that leg back up towards the sky. We're going to bring the right foot forward. Try to push up, and then bring your foot between your thumbs. Little step. Bring that left knee down on your inhale. Reach and extend your arms up, and open your heart up in your chest. Pull your arms out a little bit. Give your arms a little bit of a break. Maybe the palms out. And just take a moment. Roll out your wrists. So you've been on your wrists a lot. Give yourself a little bit of a break. See if you can uncurl the back toes and pull your heels towards each other. So you're actually pulling your right heel in towards your left heel. Other direction. 1 more. We're going to reach and extend the arms up, drop the shoulders back, and then take the hands down. As you're here, you're going to puff up the back just like we did. So I want you to puff it up as much as you can. See if you can start straightening out the leg. If you can puff up a lot, see if you can lift the leg and press it back into your downward facing. Ripple forward into your plank pose. Lower down through chaturanga. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, find your cobra. Lift your heart forward, pull your shoulders back, pinky toes down. Exhale, this time curl the toes. Just press back, child's pose. Stretch the arms forward as far as you can. Pull your bottom back. Ripple up into your tabletop and then glide back into your downward facing. Bring your feet so the toes touch. Inhale the left leg. Open the left hip towards the side. Bend your knee, flex your foot, and level out your shoulders. So your shoulders stay square, maybe pushing more weight into that left hand. Rotate the ankle. We're going to bring that knee towards the nose, so re-square. Bring that forward, exhale, push up, and then pull your back body back. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, round. Inhale, three-legged. One more time. Exhale, round. Inhale, three-legged. Think about bringing that left leg over towards the right tricep. Try to keep it up as high as you can. Inhale, press back. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back. One more time. Exhale, twist. And as you twist, gaze over to the ground. See if you can straighten out the leg, flex the foot, and place it down. Roll the right ankle down and start to lift the right arm up. Reach the right arm forward and push through that left side body. Open and expand the right side body as far as you can. Stay here for another breath. Bring that right arm down. Rotate back in and glide back up, three-legged dog. Bring your left knee towards your left tricep. We're going to bring it over towards the right tricep. Come back into the left tricep. Back into the right tricep. One more time. Back into the left. Back into the right. And then come back into the center. Bring that knee forward towards your nose, round your spine. Pick up as high as you can. And then step your foot between your thumbs. Bring your back knee down. Inhale your arms. Find that low lunge. Bakasana. Reach the heart up. Move the arms out a little bit. And then just roll out your wrists. Move your fingers a little. Maybe uncurl the back toes and try to pull your heels in towards each other. Breathe. Let's inhale the arms, push the shoulders back. Reach the hands down. You're going to puff up the back, curl the back toes. So start to puff up as much as you can. See if you can straighten out the legs. You're going to push up as much as you can. Lift the foot and glide it back. Ripple forward, find your plank pose. We're going to come down this time to our halfway. So I want you to slowly lower down into your upward facing. Uncurl your toes, lift your heart, and think about wrapping your shoulders back. Wrap your triceps back, push your heart forward, push your hips slightly forward. Keep lifting up more than you're pushing. And reach your heart up as high as you can, get in a lot of height. And then round your back, pushing back into your downward facing. Breathe. Stay here for 5 breaths. Pulling the belly button in, maybe gazing towards the ankles, knees, or navel. And just check in how you feel. Some of our classes will be a little fast. Some of them will be a little slow. Today we're just taking it a little bit more about strength, a little bit less about speed. I know everybody's head is not totally where it needs to be. So working a little bit less on speed and balance and just more on overall strength. Having the strength to sometimes get through things that seem a little hard. So we're going to rise up on the toes, gaze between your thumbs. See if you can start to bend your knees a little bit and maybe give yourself a little jump forward towards the front. And soft landing. Exhale, bow. And let's inhale, gaze forward. Lengthen your spine on your way up. Reach and extend the arms up. And then take your hands to your heart. I just want you to check in for a moment. See how you feel. Check into your body. Maybe take one hand to your heart. The other hand might be on your belly. And just be aware of how your body feels. And when you're ready, bring your hands down. Toes are going to touch. We're going to inhale, reach and extend the arms up. And exhale, let's take them out, swan dive, fold forward. Pull the belly button in. On your inhale, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, walk or jump back. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, press back, downward facing. We're gonna bring that right leg up again. So reach the right leg up. Let's open our hip towards the side. Bend your knee, flex your foot. And this time, sweep your leg all the way through. So you're gonna pivot onto the left leg, and I'm gonna plant the right foot down. I'm gonna come right into that fallen triangle. Now I'm gonna plant the left hand down. I'm gonna bring the knee back in and swivel it back open towards the side. And we're gonna do this about 2 more times. So bring it across, reaching that leg down, maybe touching, maybe not. Bringing the left hand down, opening up. One more time, bringing it across. And this time, maybe hovering. And see if you can hover here for 5 and 4. If you need to take it down, take it down. 3 and 2 and 1. Plant your foot on top of your knee and see if you can push yourself back into a seated pose. Reaching back. I'm going to bring that hand all the way forward. Nice little twist. Send that leg back. Bring your knee towards your nose, round your spine. Step between your hands. So step your foot between your hands. We're going to come into our lunge pose. So reaching the arms up. Bring that back knee almost where it's touching. And then slowly lift back up in your lunge pose. And try to push your weight so your weight is right over that right heel. Reach yourself down. Relax the shoulders a little bit. Inhale, pressing back into your lunge. Exhale, let's hover here. So just hover that back knee, stay here for 5. Push into all your toes. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your hands down and straighten out your legs. See if you can lower down, find this pyramid pose, letting the head come down, letting your head rest. If that heel is up, totally okay. Do what's comfortable for your body. Round your back as much as you can and tense your fingers. See if you can tense your fingers a little bit. And as you puff up through your back, see if you can lift that right leg. Step it back, place the fingers down. Ripple forward into your plank. Lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing. Pull the heart forward. Exhale, press back, downward facing. And then this time, bringing that left leg up. Open the hip over towards the left side. We're going to swing it right through to the right. Find that fallen triangle. So let the foot come down. Right arm is going to come up. And then bring the right arm down. Swivel the leg back through. Open the hip. Maybe that right heel is pressing down. So try to keep the right knee facing forward. And then bring yourself back through. Find that version of fallen. Maybe letting the leg hover. Bring the right hand down, open the knee one more time. And this time we're going to hold it. So we're going to bring it through. Bring that heel down. And see if you can extend that leg up. Reach the right arm up. Maybe gaze up towards the right hand. Micro bend the left elbow. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Push the knee and the ankle together and see if you can start to sit back a little bit. When you're ready, take the right hand down, swivel yourself back and extend the left leg up. I know it's hard. Bring your knee in towards your nose, round your spine, lift up as much as you can, and then lightly step between your thumbs. Find your high lunge, reaching your arms up. Stabilize your shoulders, wrap your pinkies a little forward, triceps back. Think about bringing the knee down, try to keep the weight so the weight is right in line with that knee and ankle. And you're going to inhale, come back up into your high lunge. Exhale, lower down into that low lunge where that knee almost touches. Inhale, coming back up. We're going to hold it here. So I'm going to bring that knee down. See if it almost touches. Stay there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press the hands down. And find your Parsvartanasana. You want to find that pyramid pose. Allow your hips to square off. Toes are both facing forward. Back heel might be lifted. But see, can you bring your hips into alignment? And let your head just rest down. Stay here, breath. Plant your hands, tense your fingers, round your back up as high as you can. See if you can start to lift that left heel, pressing it back, press the hands down. We're gonna ripple forward. So find that rippling action with the spine, shifting all the way forward. Maybe the shoulders are coming towards the fingertips. Slowly lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, pressing back, downward facing. If you need to take a child's pose, take a child's pose. And just stay here for a few breaths. Allow yourself to relax. Let the head relax, maybe gaze towards the ankles, knees, or navel, pulling the belly inward. And just settle your thoughts, settle your mind. Even when something feels harder than what I can do, see if you can do some of it. Okay, we don't always have to do it all, and that's really where a lot of our problem lies, is that we think we have to do it all today, and we don't. We have to do what we can do, no more than that. And so pressing the ground away, let's rise up onto the toes, gaze between the thumbs, bend your knees on your inhale, sweep the hips up, see if you can do a little jump, step to the front, exhale, bow. I'm going to roll it up this time, so light bend in the knees. On your inhale, super slow, just roll it all the way up, chin in towards your chest, reach and extend the arms up. Push your hips slightly forward, draw your shoulders back and take your hands to your heart, thumbs pressed to your chest. Take your big toes together. We're going to inhale, reach and extend the arms out. I want you to find your chair pose. So extend your knees slightly forward, but push your hips back. So you're going to guide your hips back as far as you can. And I want you to see, can you squat down a little bit more? Pinkies slightly in, thumbs out, maybe a little more than you can. And try to get a buoyancy there. Tuck your tailbone just a little bit, so you're kind of pulling your bottom underneath. You're going to bring your hands to your heart, right elbow's going to find the left, and try to bring your thumbs not over towards the side of your chest, but reach it towards the center. Lift your rib cage and kind of sink down a little. Now as you're here, maybe gaze up towards the ceiling. You might bring the fingertips down towards the ground or reach up and stay here. Push your weight back into your heels, maybe gaze up. And find your wobble. I always have a wobble, especially when you're trying to pull your knees so they're in alignment. I'm going to reach the arms up, sink down a little bit more than is comfortable. Make sure you're tucking that tailbone just a little. Take the hands to the heart, squeeze the inner thighs, and this time left elbow comes to right side. Inhale, lengthen your ribs, thumbs towards the chest, and then exhale, sink down a little bit deeper. Maybe gaze up towards the ceiling. Pull the knees in towards each other and really squeeze the inner thighs. Maybe open the arms if that feels good. Gazing up to the outside of the thumb. Breathe. When you're ready, reach and extend your arms up. Push your weight back. Little tuck of that tailbone. Maybe the hands come underneath. And see if you can lower down just a little bit more. Keep gazing forward, pull the shoulders back, tuck the tailbone, stay here for 5. I know it hurts. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reach the arms forward, take the hands to the heart, dive. Shake out the legs a little bit. Nice, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, walk or jump back, plank or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, press back, downward facing. Right leg comes up on the inhale, right knee towards nose. Round your spine as lightly as you can. Step the foot between the thumbs. We're going to come back into that high lunge. So reach the arms up. Bring the elbows out to the side. Lift the heart a little bit and try to pull your heels actually towards each other. So you're kind of magnetizing your shins. Squeeze your thighs and lift your heart. Now stabilize the heart up, push the shoulders down. See if you take the hands back, interlock the fingers, and really stretch so your fist is coming towards the back of the left knee. Lift your heart, reach up, And then on your exhale, start to shift some of the weight forward. So I'm going to shift into the right leg. See if you can lift the hands a little bit. If you need to, bend the elbows and shift so much forward that you're rising up onto the big toe. Stay here for 5. And 4. Not coming into warrior. 3. 3. And 2. And 1. Shifting back, reaching the arms up. Take your hands down, fold forward, right into that pyramid pose, bow into it. Inhale, gaze forward halfway. Plant your hands, maybe rise to the fingertips, or if you can, palms flat. Round your back as much as you can, more than you think you can. Pull your chin towards your belly button. Now, as high as you can, curl your hips towards your belly button. Lift the leg, step it back. So the more I curl, the more that's possible. Ripple forward. Find your high plank. Lower down through chaturanga halfway. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, ripple back, downward facing. Nice, stay here, breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. 1 more, in through the nose. This time, sigh it out. And then on your next inhalation, reach the left leg up. Bring the knee towards the nose, round the spine. Puff up as much as you can, rising high, and slowly try to pull the left foot forward, finding that high lunge. Now stretch your legs out, pull your shoulders down, spread your fingers out a little bit. Sink down as much as you can and pull your legs towards each other. So kind of magnetizing the feet and the heels and the shins, and bring those arms out a little bit. So you can puff up your chest, reaching your chest up. You know, this is always so hard for me. Tightening your glutes, squeezing in, staying here for 5. And 4, lift the heart. 3, and 2, and 1. Reaching the arms up, nice. Slowly start to sink the hands to the heart. Let's bring those arms out. We're going to find that fist behind us. Pull the shoulders back, and as much as you can, pull the fist towards the back of the legs. Pull the left knee forward, open the heart, open the shoulders, gazing up. When you're ready, push some weight into the left heel. Now I'm going to push into the left heel. I'm going to start to shift that weight forward, strengthen the left hip, and see if you can start to rise up onto the right big toe. As much as you can, use the strength of the leg, not the strength of the back leg. Holding here for 5. And 4. Lighten the toe. 3. And 2. And 1. Shifting back into that high lunge. Reaching the arms up, sprinkling them down, finding them on the ground. Again, find Karsho. So find that pyramid pose. Allow yourself to relax here for a moment. Coming into your level, that back heel might be lifted. On your inhale, lengthen. You can press to the fingertips or you can press into the hands. And again, I'm going to round up so much that my spine is coming up. I'm curling my belly button in. I'm pushing more than I think I can. And I'm going to try to lift the left heel. And glide it back into your downward facing. Ripple yourself forward into your high plank. Let's bend our knees and pull your tailbone back. Glide back, downward dog. 1 more like that. So chin in towards your chest, rippling forward a little bit. Bend your knees, glide back into your downward facing. Now let's take those knees down towards the ground, uncurl the toes. Find a moment in your child's pose. And if you need your arms to rest, take your hands to your elbows, move your body a little side to side. On your next inhale, we're going to come up into your tabletop. Press yourself back, glide into your downward facing. So we're going to bring the right foot forward a little bit. So I want you to step about halfway into your mat. And you're going to round your back as much as you can. I want you to rise up really high on the right foot. So heel is going to lift. Keep the knee bent and see if you can start to lift the left leg up. Now as you're here, you're going to keep this left leg lifting. You're going to push with really strong arms and see if you can just find a little butt kick. towards your hips. So find a few. Let's do 5. So this round, pivot, and 4, and 3, pressing in 2, maybe finding that hang time or those handstands. 1, nice. Step back, downward facing. Scissor your knees a little side to side. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I want you to walk your hands in towards your feet first. Take your wrists and just face your wrists upside down. Move your hands a little bit around. Let your head sway a little side to side. Take hands towards shins, gaze forward halfway. Exhale. And you're going to walk yourself forward with your hands. And this time I want you to step the left foot in a little bit. We're going to do that rounding again. So you're only about halfway in. You're going to rise up onto the left toes. And as you do that, think about the right leg coming up. You're going to round as much as you can, pulling the belly in like you're trying to curl into yourself. And then this right leg is going to come up, and the left heel is going to kick the bottom. And you're going to straighten out your arms, kind of push through the arms as much as you can, and just do these little bottom kicks. About 4, and 3, and 2. Last one. And when you're ready, coming back into your downward facing. And again, that's sometimes how we find our handstands. You can stay there or choose not to stay. We're going to come into Malasana. So I'm going to bring my feet out a little bit wider, and I'm going to take the hands in. I'm going to slowly sink down. If you don't have a full Malasana pose, that's okay. If the heels come up, you can always put a block underneath the back of the heels, but I want you to just check in. Maybe the hands are pressing into the knees. And kind of push the knees into the hands and try to lift the heart up as much as you can. And pull the elbows out towards the side. And just sitting up as tall as you can. Now, if you're able, you can start to take the toes forward a little bit and squeeze the knees in a little bit more. And maybe the knees are actually squeezing in, so if you were to kind of let go, your hands would actually slip and hit into your biceps. So push into your knees a lot. So push your knees into your hands a lot. So from here, we're going to see if we can find our crow pose. Crow, your elbows are bent. And you're going to kind of puff up your back a little bit. You're going to keep your elbows bent. Now, one way you can start to work into your crow, if you don't have it, is you can press your knees actually to the outside. And this is just kind of working the whole body in together. There are a lot of different variations of crow. None of them are necessarily wrong. It's where you're going to find the best variation for you. This is one I like when people can't balance on their arms because they realize that they have to use their body's strength first. So I'm going to take the hands down, I'm going to rise up under the toes, and I'm going to keep the knees squeezing in. So I want to squeeze them in to the sides of my shoulders. Now I don't really want to come down here because this is going to push the elbows in, and then the arms kind of do this. So I don't want the arms to come in. I want to stabilize so the arms are actually kind of pushing in, and the knees are pushing in. So the elbows stay right back, and they face straight towards the back of the mat. Now I'm going to shift up, lift the tailbone, puff up the belly, and see if you can bring one leg up. You got that? Bring the other leg up, and squeeze. Hold and push the elbows into the knees as the knees are pushing into the elbows. Stay here for 5. And 4. Gaze forward, lengthen your chest. Micro bend those elbows. 2. And 1. Bring one foot down, the other foot down. Nice. Come back into your Vinyasa. Breathe. So we're going to come into a couple of different crow variations today. That's just one that we're going to do. If you like that one, you can revisit that anytime. So I'm going to come back up into my downward facing and take your bottom back. And let's swivel our hips a little bit. So kind of working into anything that might be a little tight. Bring both heels over towards the right side and kind of stick your bottom out. Bring your rib cage up towards the left. Maybe tent the fingers on the left. and just see what you can straighten. You might be able to push the heel up. I might be able to straighten the right leg a little bit more. And if I push the heel down, I'm going to push into the heel and bend the right knee. And how it changes the pose. When you're ready, coming back to the center and just swivel the heels. And again, kind of play with this. So both heels are down, stretch the rib cage up on the right. Maybe tent the fingers on the right side. Push your bottom out a little bit more. Rise up onto your right toes and see, can you start to straighten out the left leg a little bit? Now when you're ready, bend your knee. Bring your toes to the mat on the left, lift the heel, and see, can I start straightening out the right leg a little bit more? And coming back into the center. Gaze forward towards the front. Rise up on your toes, bend your knees, and see if you can find a little bit of a heel towards the bottom. So, little kick. Little kick. Try to keep the arms straight. Little kick. One more. Little kick, maybe land softly right between the thumbs. Exhale, bow. On your inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, bow into it. Inhale, reach and extend the arms out towards the side. Reaching the arms up. Exhale, take the hands to the heart. All right, so come to the top of the mat. Let's find our Bakasana. Sweep the arms up. Inhale. And then exhale, fold and dive. Tailbone lift, head comes down. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, walk or jump back, plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, or cobra. Exhale, downward facing. Plant the left foot down, lift the right leg. Bring the right knee towards your nose, round your spine, and as slowly as you can, step your foot between your thumbs. Let's take that back heel down, come into your warrior one. Push into your back two pinky toes, press your knee forward, and squeeze your hips forward towards the front. I'm going to melt the hands down to my heart, open into your warrior two. Maybe take the stance out a little bit wider. Reach the arms and try to get your knee so your knee is about parallel with the mat. Reach the arms out. I'm going to bring that right arm forward. Exalt your pose, kind of pushing your right rib cage towards the front. Lift your heart and try to keep your right arm towards the back of your ear. When you're ready, sprinkle your hands forward. We're in a cartwheel. Bring one down, the other down, pivot on the back leg. Round your back, and again, see if you can extend. You might find a one-leg option to lower down chaturanga, or that leg can come down. Lower, inhale, upward facing. Exhale, press back, downward facing. Inhale the left leg. Bring the knee forward towards the nose, round your spine as slowly as you can. Step between your thumbs. Pivot on the back leg, find warrior one. Square your hips forward towards the front. Push into the back two pinky toes and squeeze your heels a little towards each other as you're actually trying to push them out a little. So you're kind of pushing out and squeezing at the same time. Reach the hands down to your heart and then open that back leg. So you're going to heel, toe, maybe another one. Reach it out a little further. Try to get your knee so your thigh is actually parallel with the mat and the knee looks like it's at 90 degrees. Tuck your tailbone slightly under and gaze down your middle finger. Reach your hand forward, flip the palm, inhale, lifting them. And then exhale slowly, sprinkling the fingers forward. You're going to rise up on your back toes, round your back a little bit, extend that leg back, lower down. Inhale, upward facing. Chin towards chest, exhale, downward facing. We're going to jump forward towards the front, so bend your knees, gaze towards your thumbs, walk or jump forward. Exhale, bow. Bend your knees, and this time, see if you can keep your knees in front of you and have a seat. We're going to come into Vinyasa, our boat pose. So extend your legs up, pull your belly button in, and lengthen your spine. Stay here for 5, and 4, 3. We're going to come into half boat. So Ardha Navasana, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Try to keep the legs extending and control the descent. Pushing the lower back down, keeping the arms out, rolling the shoulders slightly back, and bring the pinkies up. Staying here, we're going to come into a crow pose from here, so 5. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself back into your boat and pull your heels in and then knees out, and see if you can plant your feet down. Reach yourself forward. Momentum helps a little bit. And find your crow pose. So this time I'm going to take my crow not on my elbows if I can. We're going to do the elbows. Right now we're going to find the back of the tricep first. So again, hands are shoulder distance. Wrap your elbows in. So instead of wrapping your elbows out, which kind of compromises the shoulders, I want to squeeze the elbows in. I'm going to rise up under the toes, lift up, and then press the knees to the back. And just gaze forward. Think about lengthening. So really reach your heart forward. Now, as you reach forward a little bit more, your fingers are going to stop you, and you're going to bring your toes up a little bit. See if you can find this for 5. And 4. And if you want to jump back into chaturanga, you can for 3. And 2. And 1. I'm going to bring the toes down. So I'm going to just show slowly lowering down, and I'm going to come back into my garland or my balasana, sitting up as tall as I can. Bring your hands down to the mat, face the toes forward, find your forward fold, exhale. Take your hands around the elbows, move a little side to side. Gaze forward, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale. Let's come back into that chair. So maybe walk the feet in a little bit. Bend your knees, find your Bakasana. Sink down a little bit, and this time we're going to rise up onto the toes. So see if you can find your toes down, and then start to open the legs a little bit and slowly lower down for 5. And 4. 3. And 2. And 1. Bring the hands down. This time I'm going to keep the knees down towards the elbows. This is, again, another way to do crow. We're going to work on that puffing of the back that we've worked on today. So we're going to press the fingers forward. I'm going to bend the elbows. And I'm going to keep everything up. Now, as I do this, I want you to start to puff up and pull the belly button in. Keep gazing forward. Bring one leg up. Bring the other leg up. Now hug the legs in. Hug the legs in. Squeeze the arms in. Keep the toes lifting. Keep the chest lifting. For 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. See if you can softly put the feet down. Oh, let's find a garland. Okay, so there's so many different variations of crow, and crow is one of those stabilizing poses. It's a beginner balance, but it's not an easy balance. It's a really challenging balance, and sometimes people take light of the fact that it's not an easy pose because some people come right into it. It took me 2 years to do my first crow pose because I was always trying to look down instead of forward. And anytime you do crow, you want to look forward, almost like you're gifting your heart to the world. And it keeps your head up a little bit. Your head weighs a lot and it kind of pulls you down. So from here, we're going to turn our toes forward. Find another forward fold. If you can, peace sign fingers around your big toes. Lift your heart, pull your belly button towards and through your legs. Now sweep your inner thighs out, bend your elbows, and see if you can slowly start to take your weight, shift it into your toes. And pull your elbows out to the side and then roll your shoulders back. Pull your belly button in. Stay here for a few breaths. On your inhale, gaze forward. And then exhale, bend. We're going to bend everything. I want you to take your hands, and this time I just want you to actually step on the outside of your hands. We've done a lot with our wrists, so I want to give your wrists a little bit of a break. You're going to press into the wrists and pull your elbows towards your shins and try to keep the wrists down as you do this. You can straighten out those legs if it feels good, but I feel like I get a better mush into my hands. And maybe even sometimes can pull my belly button up, lift my heels. If you feel like you're going to go forward, pull your bottom back. You can start to straighten the legs. And as you're here, let the head start to tilt down. When you're ready, taking the hands out one at a time. Gaze forward, halfway lengthen. Walk your feet back in. Let's refine that chair pose for a moment. Bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms. And then exhale, sink back down. We're going to find that boat pose so you can bring those knees out if you can. Extend the legs forward, find your Navasana. Now your Navasana can be here. If you can, reach the toes up and reach the hands towards the toes and kind of separate the toes as much as you can. Push into the belly, reach the arms up, pull the shoulders back, and then see if you can pump the arms up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, like raising the roof, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down, super slow. Curl into yourself, keep your legs really strong, push the lower back down. Reach the shoulders back. And the same thing, lift up a little bit, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down. I'm going to move on to my mat. Reach yourself back in. Relax your legs for just a moment. Take your shoulder blades out to the side. Let your arms rest out for a moment. Just wiggle your toes. Breathe into your space. We're going to bring those knees up towards the ceiling. I'm going to plant my lower tailbone down. I'm going to extend my right leg up. And as you lift your right leg up, plant your weight into your left foot. See if you can lift the head and then exhale, press into the lower back. Reach the arms towards the toes. Now flex and see if you can touch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend that leg forward, point the toes, lift the heart. Stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Push the lower back down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend both legs up, flex the feet, see if you can touch the toes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant the right leg down, reach the leg up and hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend that leg forward, point the toes, make sure the lower back's down, lift up a little bit more. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake that head down. Oh, I know that's hard. Reach the arms out. Bring your legs out for a moment. Windshield wiper your legs a little side to side. Breathe into that space. We're going to bring the knees over towards the right side. And I want you to take the hands over the head if you can. Maybe the left hand grabs onto the right wrist and just pull back. If that hurts the shoulders, bring the arms out into cactus and try to just lift the hips up a little bit. And do what is comfortable for the body. If it doesn't feel good to you, it's not good for you. And that's a really important thing. Sometimes we feel like, oh, well, this is supposed to work for me because it's yoga. All poses are not for all bodies. So I'm going to swivel my knees this time over towards the left. I'm going to reach the arms around and the right hand might grab onto the left wrist. Again, it causes any discomfort or pain in the shoulders. Just bring the arms out. And always ask yourself, is something challenging or is it painful? If it's painful, change it. If it's challenging, work through it. There's a big difference. And the sooner we learn that, the less injuries we have. I want you to press into the lower back, grab onto your knees, and just roll side to side. Now we're going to finish off our practice with a back bend. If you do not have a back bend practice, I'm going to walk you through the bridge first. I want you to make sure your heels are a little close. You might be able to touch them, you might not. But when you look to the side, you shouldn't be able to see your toes. They shouldn't be facing out like this, and they shouldn't be out here. They should be facing towards the back and about hip distance. Now, I'm going to bring mine in a little bit. I'm going to round my back, so I kind of peel my spine up like you're peeling a sticker off the mat. And then One at a time, bring your shoulder blades a little closer together. You might interlock the hands. You might separate the pinkies and kind of press the pinkies down and see if you can come up a little bit more. I shouldn't have my chin stuck in, so my neck should be long, and I want you to push your shins forward and squeeze your thighs, not your knees. So maintain the squeeze of the inner thighs, and the big toes are kind of squeezing towards. So the inner arches are actually kind of hugging in. The shins are hugging in. The thighs are hugging in. But the knees are not pulling in. So everything has this action. Squeeze the shoulder blades, and you know I'll get up a little bit higher. If you have a back bend, take your hands down, face your palms around. Elbows are going to face just slightly out. You're going to rise up onto the crown of the head, and then I want you to just push straight up. Now, if this is comfortable, stay here. If you're able, without pain to your shoulders, you can start to straighten out your legs. If you want to come a little deeper, I want you to push your shins forward, and you might walk the feet in a little bit. And keep pushing the shins forward. So you're going to get height before you get depth. And so a little bit more height. Squeeze the thighs. Keep the big toes rooted. Press through the ground. Now, if you have a one-leg practice, you're going to shift your weight to that left leg. Maybe lift the right, square the hips. Keep the arms level as much as you can. And then you're going to bring that right leg down. And then same thing. Find balance in the body, and then reach the leg up. And try to level out the shoulders as much as you can. Gaze forward. And then when you're ready, bring that leg down. And you're ready. We're going to lower down. If you want to stay up longer, you can. You're going to take the lower back down, and I just want you to rebound here for a moment. Take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And just find deep breaths in your body. Check in to everything. All the areas that you worked. The ones that feel good, the ones that don't. Check into any areas of stagnancy and sometimes fear where I might have put things in my body. And just allow your breath to settle here for a few. Allow you to settle. When you're ready, I want you to grab onto your knees, pull your knees in towards your ribs. Maybe finish off with a happy baby. If you're happy baby, can bring your feet up towards the ceiling. Press your knees to the outside. Keep your lower tailbone down. And almost like you're trying to literally push your knees to the earth. If you're able, you can even rock your happy baby a little bit, pushing one knee down and kind of massaging into your kidneys. But try to keep the tailbone down. And just doing this a few times. And allowing your baby to just kind of do whatever it wants. Knowing that even though I don't have all the answers, I'm still taken care of. I'm safe. I might not feel like I'm safe, but if you're doing this yoga practice right now, you are. And so always go into your present moment. We can handle that. Where we get a little knotted is trying to figure out how to handle it all at once. Bring your heels in towards your bottom. Grab your knees. Pull your knees into the center of your chest. It's kind of like trying to figure out how to eat an entire steak in one bite. We don't. You take your food a bite at a time. All our life is done at a bite at a time. And when we try to take on more than a bite, it's overwhelming. Grab onto your right knee. Hold your right knee, extend your right leg up, and just roll out your ankle. And then go in that other direction. Maybe hearing it talk back to you. And bend your knee, glide the other leg up. Same thing, grabbing onto that ankle, rolling it out a little bit. Taking your left knee in by your ribs and then just twist it over to your right side. Find a gentle twist. We're going to come back into the center. And then I want you to grab onto your right knee, extend your left leg long. And then take your right knee over towards the left side, just finding a gentle twist. And then coming back into the center, extending the legs a little bit. If you need to make any more little movements, feel free, or just allow yourself to come into your Shavasana. Finding your relaxing breath, find the place in which your body naturally wants to go. And so I heard the other day about a 17-year-old boy that had developed a website that now nations are using as the ability to accurately detect and go into the areas that the coronavirus is. So they have an action of who actually has it, what city has it, how many people have contracted it, how many people are better, what age groups, death tolls, everything. It's so advanced that governments are using it as their tool to be able to make things a little bit better, to change things, to have an idea of what's going on. It's kind of mind-boggling to know that a 17-year-old kid created this in his home. Your thought for today is by Emily Dickinson. It says, I dwell in possibilities. If I dwell in possibilities, I don't have to be afraid of the unknown. Because everything is possible. It's only impossible in my mind. Maybe in my current knowledge, maybe in the world at this second. But the next second can be totally different. So when we go into fear, we go into what we think we know now, which is limited. It's limited to our resources. It's limited to our database, our knowledge, our small little sector of the world and the information we're getting. It doesn't take the possibilities of the brains that are already solving the problem now, of the people that are already in action now, the unsung heroes, which there's countless ones. There are millions of good things to the small amount of bad. Unfortunately, the bad are more of what we see and that are reported. So I invite you in the coming weeks to dwell in the possibilities, not the fear. Every time you're fearful of anything this week, I want you to say to yourself, my fear is based on only the information I know right now, not what is possible, not what might already be in action. So I don't have to be afraid. I just have to learn more. And so stay here for just a few more breaths, allowing the fingers to relax, the toes to relax. When you're ready, draw your knees up towards the ceiling, feet pressed to the mat, lower your back to the ground. Grab on your knees, pull your knees into your ribs, roll side to side in your sacrum. When you're ready, roll over on your side, hand comes under your head, and just stay there for a few breaths. When you're ready, pushing yourself up into a seated pose. We'll finish off with a few deep breaths. So we should have 3 breaths. We're going to breathe in through your nose, hold your breath, and exhale. I'll count the first. So let's inhale for 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale and hold and exhale. Last one, inhale and hold and exhale. Namaste. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next Tuesday.